Hi, my name is Rukhna Iftikhar. I'm from Group 17. My other group members are Ritush and Asif. First of all, we would like to thank Mr. Stephen for giving us the opportunity to describing the most powerful concept of international trade theory, which is law of comparative advantage. The law of comparative advantage is given by the famous economist David Ricardo. This law says that countries should specialize in those goods and services in which they have comparative advantage. But actually the comparative advantage is basically it is the ability of a firm or individual to produce goods and services at lower opportunity cost than other firms or individuals. To understand the concept of the comparative advantage, let us take a simple example in which we have two countries which are producing only two goods, cars and computers. The table over here represents the maximum production by two countries, country A and country B. Over here we can see the PPF for both countries. Here is the PPF for country A before trade and for country B as well. The X and Y point represents the maximum production they both countries can have by using half of their resources in the production of the computers and cars. After that, for finding which country has the comparative advantage in which good, we have to calculate the opportunity cost, which tells us that country A has a comparative advantage in the production of the cars and country B has a comparative advantage in the production of the computer. It means country A produce car and trade with country B for computers. But for trade to be mutually beneficial, it would be better if the exchange rate lie between the opportunity cost ratio. The suitable exchange rate always lie in the opportunity cost ratio because for country A, the suitable rate for selling car is when they get two computers, more than two computers. Because if they get two computers or less than two computers, it doesn't make sense to them because they can sacrifice one car and make two computers by themselves. So it would be better for country A to get more than two computers. Similarly, for country B, it would be better for country B if they have to pay less than 4 computers. Because if they pay 4 computers or more than 4 computers, it is not beneficial for that country because they can sacrifice 4 computers for themselves. So that's why the opportunity cost ratio must lie between opportunity cost ratio tell us the suitable exchange rate for both the countries. Here the suitable exchange rate. Considering this suitable exchange rate, we can see the gains from the trade. The country A produce only cars and trade with country B which produce only computers, and after trading they get the gains which you can clearly see from this table. And at the last we can see the new PPF for both the country after the trading. You can clearly see that the new PPF is higher than the previous PPF. Now I am going to call Ritush for discussing the limitation of the comparative advantage.
Thank you, Rukma, for telling us briefly about the Ricardo model. Now I'm going to speak some of the limitations that Ricardo has overcome in his topics. The first I'm going to consider is the transportation cost. Let us see example, if one country is a bit far from other country, like take an example of America and Australia. These countries have a huge distance between them. So if we talk about the transportation cost, it would be added in the product and would take lots of investment in the transportation cost. The other thing I want to talk about is the exchange rate that was completely ignored in the Ricardo model. In this world, every country have a different currency, and with this currency, there is a huge difference in the exchange rates. So if you want to buy a product from one country to another country, so it would be take like heaps of difference in the product's cost, and most of the thing we get difference in the R&D investment. If Ricardo have just talked about the product's quality, just talk about the product, not about its quality. So if we talk about the quality, we want to buy a good quality product. So there will be difference in the comparative advantage. So that was also ignored in the Ricardo model. Beside of these limitations, though these comparative advantage is still beneficial for countries in the realistic world, that would be discussed by my fellow friend Asif. Asif, please.
Thank you, Ritesh, for giving me the opportunity to provide some real-life examples about comparative advantages that I'm going to provide some examples of competitive advantage data provided by Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Australia's $51 billion worth of export trade and $20 billion of import trade each year with Japan make the second biggest trading partner of Australia. From the data provided by Agricultural and Livestock Industries Corporation of Japan, we can see that Australia provides about 34% of Japanese beef consumption. On the other hand, we can see Australia imports about $7 billion worth of passenger vehicles from Japan. Since Australia has got vast amount of natural land which is suitable for cattle and also has world-class research and development facilities, so it is Australia's comparative advantage to produce more meats than manufacturing cars. We can take, on the other hand, we can take examples of iron ores and coals export to China and importing computers and telecom equipment. In this case, Australia is the biggest suppliers of iron ores and coals to China. And we know that Australia has got enormous amount of natural resources, and Australia is very efficient about exploring those natural resources. And we also know that China is really efficient about manufacturing sophisticated electronic components. So it's Australia's comparative advantage to explore the natural resources and export it to China and get the sophisticated electronic and computer equipments from China in order to meet the Australia's demand of telecom equipment and also computers. Though comparative advantage has got several limitations, but still a lot of countries consider comparative advantage is one of the core elements to consider when trading across border. Thank you everyone for staying with us and giving us the opportunity to provide our presentation on comparative advantage.